Welcome back to my series, Save Your Money and Control Your Finances Like a CEO. This is part 2 of the series where we're diving into practical, powerful money frameworks that can literally change your life. Most people struggle with money their entire lives. They earn, they spend, they stress, they repeat. And yet the people at the top, CEOs, entrepreneurs, wealthy decision makers, play by a different set of rules. The good news? You don't need to be rich to play the game. You just need to know the rules. And today's rule is all about how you divide your income. Most people think that they're doing the right thing with their money because they've heard about the famous 50-30-20 rule. You know the one. 50% of your income goes to your needs, 30% to your wants, and 20% to savings and debt repayment. On the surface, it sounds like a smart, balanced formula. But let me hit you with some hard truth. If you keep following this traditional rule blindly, you might stay stuck in the exact same cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, struggling with debt, and never actually building wealth. And that's because the 50-30-20 rule was designed to help you survive, not to help you grow. Now, if your only goal is to survive financially, pay your bills, and maybe save a little for retirement, then sure, stick with it. But if you want to level up, if you want to manage money like the people at the very top, like CEOs, entrepreneurs, and decision makers who are always 10 steps ahead, then you need to flip the script. You need a different formula. You need a formula that doesn't just keep you afloat, but pushes you forward, creates growth, and builds wealth. And that's exactly what I'm about to share with you, the CEO version of money management, which I call the 40-30-20-10 rule. Here's how it works. Instead of putting half your money into essentials and almost nothing into your future growth, the CEO formula is about smarter allocation. 40% goes into essentials, your housing, food, bills, transportation, insurance, and anything you need just to function and survive. 30% goes into lifestyle. Yes, the fun stuff. Dinners out, hobbies, Netflix, vacations, clothes, all the things that make life enjoyable. Then 20% goes into savings and investments. That's your future wealth, your financial safety net, the buffer between you and any unexpected crisis. And finally, the most important piece that changes everything, 10% goes into growth. Now, this is where people stop and ask, growth? What do you mean by growth? And the answer is simple. That 10% is money you spend to increase your earning potential, to build skills, to create side hustles, to invest in your personal and professional development. Because here's what most people don't realize. Cutting expenses can only take you so far, but reinvesting in yourself can take you to unlimited levels. This is why CEOs, even when they make millions, keep reinvesting into learning, into teams, into business ideas, into research and development. They know that money used for growth creates more money. Let's break this down with a real-life example. Say you earn $2,000 a month. Under the old 50-30-20 formula, you'd spend $1,000 on needs, $600 on wants, and $400 in savings. And sure, that might feel balanced, but here's the issue. Nothing is going into personal growth. You're basically hoping your job or your income stays stable forever. But under the CEO formula, here's what it looks like. $800 goes into essentials, $600 into lifestyle, $400 into savings and investments, and $200 into growth. That $200 might not look like a big deal at first glance, but think about it. If you consistently put $200 into growth every month, that's $2,400 a year. That could be courses, workshops, mentorship, launching a small online business, buying tools or software for a side hustle, or even building a professional network. Within a year, you've built skills and assets that could potentially raise your income by hundreds or even thousands of dollars a month. This is the exact difference between someone who stays at the same salary for 10 years and someone who doubles or triples their income in that time. It's not just luck, it's not just hard work, it's strategy. The person who invests in growth creates new opportunities, while the person who doesn't remains stuck. Think about it like this. If you plant nothing, you grow nothing. That growth fund is where you plant seeds. And CEOs never stop planting seeds. The real mindset shift here is to stop treating money as something you only spend or save and start treating it like a tool. Every dollar has a job. Some dollars protect you, some dollars make life comfortable, some dollars prepare you for emergencies, and some dollars build your future. That last category, the growth dollars, is like your research and development department. Every successful company invests in R&D, and if you don't, you eventually get left behind. The same applies to your personal finances. Now, I can already hear the objections. You might be thinking, but I barely make enough to cover my essentials. How can I possibly put 10% into growth? And that's a valid concern. But here's my answer. If you don't make room for growth now, when will you? Because if you're just surviving, you'll always be just surviving. The only way to escape is by increasing your income. And the only way to increase your income sustainably is by growing. So even if you start with 2% or 5% or even just $10 a week, start. The amount matters less than the habit, because once you get used to seeing growth as a non-negotiable category, your brain shifts. You'll stop seeing it as an expense and start seeing it as an investment. Let me give you an example from real life. Imagine someone making $2,000 a month who spends $200 on courses to learn digital marketing, coding, or copywriting. Within a year, they could freelance on the side and earn an extra $500 to $1,000 a month. That means their income grows from $2,000 to $2,500 or $3,000. Now imagine they keep applying the 40-30-20-10 rule to their new income. The cycle keeps compounding. More growth leads to more income, which funds more growth, which builds even more income. That's exactly how CEOs think. They don't cut themselves rich, they grow themselves rich. The beauty of this formula is that it still keeps your life balanced. You're not giving up lifestyle, you still get 30% of your income for fun and enjoyment. You're not ignoring savings. You've got a solid 20% going into investments, retirement, or emergency funds. And you're covering your essentials responsibly with 40%. The only difference is that now you're making growth a priority instead of treating it like an afterthought. So let's make this actionable. Step 1, track your income and expenses. Most people don't even know where their money goes every month, and that's why they feel broke no matter how much they earn. Get clear on what's coming in and what's going out. Step 2, apply the 40-30-20-10 breakdown. Even if you can't hit the numbers perfectly at first, get close. Step 3, automate it. Have separate accounts if possible. One for savings, one for growth, one for daily expenses. Make it automatic so you don't rely on willpower. Step 4, choose your growth focus. Don't just throw money around randomly. Decide, this month I'm learning a skill, this month I'm starting a side hustle, this month I'm investing in myself. And step 5, reevaluate every few months because your income and goals will change and your allocations might need to shift too. The big picture here is that money management isn't just about making sure you can pay the bills. It's about building the kind of future where you're not constantly stressed about money. Most people spend their entire lives working for money, but CEOs flip that. They make money work for them, and that's exactly what this rule helps you do. Think about how powerful it is to know that every single month, a portion of your income is going directly into building future earning power. That creates momentum, and momentum is everything. Once you see results, you'll never go back to the old way of managing money. So, the next time you hear someone say they're following the 50-30-20 rule, remember, that's fine for survival, but survival isn't enough. You're not here to just get by. You're here to grow, to build, to create wealth and opportunities. The 40-30-20 rule isn't just a budget, it's a mindset shift. It's the difference between living paycheck to paycheck and building a life of financial freedom. And here's the best part. You don't need to be rich to start. You don't need a six-figure salary or a huge inheritance. You can start wherever you are with whatever you have. All it takes is a commitment to play the money game like a CEO, not like an employee who's just trying to get through the month. So let me ask you, are you going to keep playing small with the old 50-30-20 rule, or are you ready to step up and manage money like a CEO? Because if you start today, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you'll look back and realize this was the moment everything changed. If you found this breakdown valuable, do me a favor, hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and make sure you subscribe, because this is just one part of my series, Save Your Money and Control Your Finances Like a CEO. In this 7-part series, I'm breaking down the exact steps you need to save more, avoid costly mistakes, and take control of your finances just like the people at the top do. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.